highlights, where the truth gets aired out. Stroud with the vision, hitting Nico on a flare out. We talk breakout stars, no gimmicks or filters. Numbers so clean, got the stats looking like scriptures. Pressure like playoffs, but we calm in the huddle. Game talk deep, turn the podcast to a tunnel. From tape to the takes, we don't follow, we lead. And TranceBates with the reads, every drop what you need.
Welcome to Off the Highlights. It's your host, TranceBates. So we in here for a little late night get together that I just wanted to, I had a few thoughts over the weekend. So hopefully y'all having a good Memorial Day weekend, cookouts, parties. I had my fair share of fun, but I had an idea. I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into the quarterbacks. And I was looking at the stats and I was like, all right, I want to pit the quarterbacks against each other and try to come up with a way to give them a numerical value and to see which quarterback come out top. So for this one, I think when I start, I was going to just do 2 quarterbacks, but I'm going to do 3. And all 3 of these quarterbacks were rookies last year. And 2 had great seasons. The other one, not so much. And we could tell by the numbers and the stats. But I'm going to break down the point system first. So when we talking point-wise, these are between 5, 3, or 1 points based upon where they fall at on the line. So total yards. If they're under 3,500, that's 1 point. 3,500 to 4,100, that's 3 points. If they're over 4,200 points, that's 5. Or 4,200 yards is 5 points. Touchdowns under 30, 1 point. 30 to 40, 3. 40 plus, 5. And that's total touchdowns. Interceptions and fumbles. If they have 15 plus interceptions and fumbles, that's 1 point. 10 to 15, that's 3. Under 10, that's 3. Or that's 5. Bad throws. 80 plus is 1. 60 to 80 is 3. Less than 60 is 5. On target throws. These are, what would it be? Percentages wise. So if they're under 70%, that's 1 point. 70 to 80%, that's 3 points. Above 90%, it's 5 points. And total EPA, which is earned points added. And the metric that I looked up, or that I always hear about it, it's every play that they have the points to possibly scoring. Does that play add to that point, add to them points being scored, or doesn't add? So if sacks is going to create, sacks are going to create negative points compared to throws and long gaining throws or runs and scrambles of that nature. So if you are under a total EPA of 50, that's 1 point. 50 to 80 is 3. 80 plus is 5. So that's the point system that I laid out. So the 3 quarterbacks that we're dealing with now is the first pick last year, Caleb Williams. The second pick, Jaden Daniels. I'm going to save Drake May, but also the other quarterback that had a great season, Bo Nix for the Broncos. So I'm going to go through their stats, and then at the end, I'm going to give you their total points. So first, I'm going to do Bo Nix. He had 4,200 total yards, passing and rushing. 32 touchdowns. He had 12 interceptions. 32 drops. So it is what it is. He had 83 bad throws, and he had a 76% on target for his throws. 24 sacks with 3 fumbles. He had a total EPA of 45. Also, I'm going to include fourth quarter comebacks. Now, the definition of a fourth quarter comeback is fourth quarter, if they score a touchdown they score a touchdown or field goal, and that either ties the game or puts them in a lead. Now you can have a fourth quarter comeback, but not it be a game winning drive in a sense. So a game winning drive is you score the last points on in that quarter and at the end of the game to win the game. So you can have more fourth quarter comebacks than game winning drives. So for Bo Nix, he had 3 fourth quarter comebacks and 3 game winning drives. Also, Pro Football Focus, they assigned a value to the quarterback on their site. So I'm gonna give you that where y'all can go check those stats out where I got the stats from. They gave Bo Nix a 13. So I also added all those together for the whole points. And Bo Nix came out of a total score of 37 points for his stats. Now we can get into Caleb Williams. He had 4,025 total yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Receivers had 20 drops, receivers, running backs. He had 110 bad throws, and he was a 72% on target thrower. He led the league with 68 sacks. You can blame that online. You can blame that on him. Both of those go together. He had 10 fumbles. He had a total EPA of -41. He was already down the list. He had 2 fourth quarter comebacks, but he only had 1 game winning drive. And he had a value that the stat website gave him at 12. So his whole entire score point system was 25 points. And then now, clearly the winner of it all, Jaden Daniels for the Washington Commanders. He had 4,400 total yards. And it was impressive because he had like 900. I think he had like 900 yards rushing in his rookie season. That's a good 31 total touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 20 drops. He had 67 bad throws, and he had a 78% on target for throws with 5 fumbles. He had 4 fourth quarter comebacks and 4 game-winning drives. I know everybody remember that one. Who was it? The Bears, when that one guy was playing around while the play was going on. Yeah. And they gave him an approximate value of 20 on the website. So altogether, he reached 50. I want to use this as just to get into the stats, just to talk about and show the little differences between the quarterbacks, where obviously Jaden Daniel played a great year. He won Rookie of the Year, took his team to conference championship. Bo Nix also had a good year, took his team to the playoffs. Caleb Williams for being the number 1 draft pick. I think it was people expected a little bit more from that Chicago team, but coaching matters, I think. And I want to explain like why I think the numbers are the way they are. He went to not a bad team. I think in theory they had it set up nice, the offense. Rome Odunze they drafted, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Swift. He is what he is, but that's a nice system. That offensive line, I thought they probably thought was going to perform better, but you kept Matt Eberflus after the failure that they had with Justin Fields. So instead of really just cleaning house like you should have, you kept him. In the sense, it was like a lame duck coach. So I think that was what contributed a good amount to the Caleb Williams struggle. And I think him trying to play hero ball, he came out, said he didn't know how to watch videos. Nobody told him how to watch film and stuff like that. So that whole ecosystem was bad. But now they got Ben Johnson in there. These numbers, I might keep them in the same thing, and then after this season, do another run back of this video. But these numbers should be a lot better, especially with who they brought in for the offensive line. Bo Nix, I think he was a pleasant surprise out of where he came from. I think he was the last quarterback drafted in the first round. But you got Sean Payton, who is a good quarterback coach, a good offensive mind. He wants what he wants. He said he loved Bo Nix, so he was happy to get him, and he felt Bo Nix was a good quarterback that he could use to play the way he wanted to play, scheme fit. And I think that's why Bo Nix had such a decent season as time went on. And for Jaden Daniels, which I think the Commanders, I think at one point the Raiders was trying to move up to get Jaden Daniels because of the connection he has with Antonio Pierce. At the time, that was the coach. But it couldn't be done because Washington needed a quarterback, and they was moving out of that spot to take the chances of not getting a quarterback, especially, I think, after meeting Jaden Daniels and seeing he had one of the greatest college seasons in a minute in the LSU. So I think once that was set, Cliff Kingsbury pretty much kind of was just like, I was going to take the Raiders job, but I'm going to go with Washington because I get to work with Jaden Daniels and who they're taking. So I think that coaching infrastructure was great for Jaden Daniels, which when it comes down to these quarterbacks and their success, it's all about the coaching. It's all about the offensive coordinators in the system. Less about the skill-wise players. I mean, that matters, but I feel like as far as development goes, you need good offensive coordinators. The Bears did not have one. That's why Caleb struggled. That's why Justin Fields struggled, looking back at it. So these coaching situations matter. This is why, from the stat point of view, Jaden Daniels won and was so successful on the field. Like I said, Jaden Daniels ended up, after all these stats scored up, 50 points. Bo Nix at 37, Caleb Williams at 25. So I'm going to do a couple more of these. It's called the QB battle. We're going through the stats. We're adding them, giving them points, and they're going to see how they play out, you know. So in this one, we did Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, and Jaden Daniels. Just a little short video. I think it's a little interesting how they play a little bit, talk about them a little bit, coaching situations, players around them. And in the comment section or description, I'll leave where I got the stats from. But thanks for tuning in. See you when I see you. Hey, thanks for checking out this latest episode of Off the Highlights with Trance. What the fuck?
Boogity boo, nigga. Remember me?
What the fuck?
Oh, shit. What the